Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Have you ever laid down at night ready to rest, but your brain won't stop spinning? You're replaying that text you never sent, or remembering a task you forgot, or even blaming yourself for not being as productive as you set out to be that morning. I know I have. I frequently do all those things. That's mental clutter, and it's just as draining as a messy room, sometimes more. Today, let's talk about what mental clutter really is, why it keeps us so exhausted, and most importantly, how to clear some space in your mind so you can actually breathe again. First, let's talk about what mental clutter actually is. Think of your brain like a browser with too many tabs open. Each tab represents an unfinished task, an unspoken conversation, or an invisible pressure you're carrying. Even if you're not actively on that tab, it's still open. It's using energy. And like what happens to our computers, it's slowing everything else down. Mental clutter shows up in all sorts of ways. Maybe it's the laundry you keep meaning to fold, or the dish you need to rinse off, or the text you've been avoiding, or the to-do list that grows longer every day. It's like background noise you can't turn off. Let's imagine we're doing some major cleaning in our home. We usually have boxes to sort things in, right? Perhaps one box for donations, one for storage, one to keep. Just like those physical categories, let's sort out our mental clutter into a few different categories. The biggest box is probably the unfinished to-dos. That's the appointment you still haven't scheduled, the email you keep meaning to reply to, even small things like dropping off mail or paying a bill online. Those all can take up mental space when left undone. Then there's the fragile box, the unspoken conversations. Maybe there's something you need to say to a friend or a coworker or even your partner, but you keep putting it off. Every day, it lingers in the background. It weighs on you. Then there's the heavy boxes, the overcommitments. When you said yes to things you don't actually have time or energy for. Those yeses live in your brain, reminding you of what's coming, what you owe, and how stretched thin you feel. Lastly, there are the boxes for the invisible pressures. These are the expectations you carry without even agreeing to them. Being the reliable one, keeping up appearances, trying to do it all because somewhere along the line you decided you were supposed to. On the surface, these seem small, but together they add up. Mental clutter keeps your nervous system slightly on edge, like a phone with too many apps running in the background. You feel distracted, you get irritable, you feel tired, even when you haven't done much. And here's the hardest part. Because your brain feels so full, you start avoiding things even more, which only creates more clutter. So, how do we actually clear some of the space? Not by doing everything, but by choosing carefully what to release. Now, I'll leave this next part up to you. You can play through the rest of the video first, or feel free to do them now. You can pause and replay as you need to. You'll need a piece of paper or some kind of notes app on your phone. First is the brain dump. All the good home organizers say the best way to clean a drawer or a closet in your home is to first take everything out. So let's do that with mental clutter. Take the piece of paper or open the notes app on your phone and write everything down that's swirling in your head. Don't filter it, don't judge it, just get it out of your brain and onto the page. Sometimes the relief comes simply from not holding it all in anymore. And oftentimes, when I've done this, I've realized that I didn't have much to write on the page. My brain just made my list of to-dos seem much bigger than it actually was. Feel free to pause here and work on your list, but don't forget to come back. Okay, so once you finish the brain dump, which is, by the way, the toughest part for me, take a look at your list. Now, I always like to go from easy to hardest, but feel free to do what works for you. Is there anything on your list that can be done in 2 minutes or less? Maybe it's replying to a text, or rinsing that dish, or moving that item off the floor. Those small things add up, and clearing them creates momentum. So if there is, go ahead and do them next. Pause, and I'll see you in 2 minutes. Welcome back. I hope you feel better now that you can cross at least one item off your list. Next is the Let It Expire test, or What Was I Thinking test. Look at your list and ask, what actually happens if I don't do this? Or is this really necessary? You'll be surprised how many things just don't matter anymore. Some mental clutter disappears the second you realize it was never that important. Some of your tasks might fall into the overcommitment or invisible pressure categories we talked about earlier. Maybe you can modify your question to ask, what actually happens if I don't do this, but I ask for help? You'd be surprised how eager people are to do so. Asking for help isn't failing, it's finding peace, which comes from remembering we don't have to carry everything alone. So now you're only left with the important things you need to do. The next step is to highlight the stuff that absolutely needs to be done today and can be completed today. Now, if you're overly optimistic like I am, it'll be hard not to highlight the entire list. It's important to be realistic here though. Make sure to only highlight what's possible to be done today. I usually highlight 1 to 3 things that need immediate attention and focus on those only. Once you're done with those 1 to 3 tasks, reward yourself with a break. Maybe it's enjoying a nice cup of coffee outside or watching a few videos on your computer. If it's the end of the day, go ahead and sit back and relax. Let the rest of the list go for now. But if there's any time left, you can start on the rest of the list. But remember, it's okay if you don't finish. You could even set a timer so you can be sure you don't work too long and have time for rest. Remember that you've already assigned and completed what you set out to do today. So what you're doing is extra. Make sure you leave work on time, go to sleep on time, and let whatever's left just be. Clearing mental clutter doesn't mean getting it all done. It means choosing what's worth carrying and letting the rest go. Sometimes peace isn't about adding more productivity. It's about practicing acceptance. It's telling yourself, MaiPenRai, it's okay to leave some things undone. That's the quiet freedom, realizing you don't have to hold it all. I hope you found this video helpful and that your mind is a little less cluttered than when we started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.